I don't even know where to start with this. I'm still processing what happened, and I need to get it off my chest because it's eating me up inside. This is going to be long, so bear with me. I've never been great at summarizing my feelings, but I'll try to make sense of it all. Names changed, obviously, because I don't want this blowing up in my face IRL. I'm 34, single, no kids, and I've been grinding my way through life as a mid-level project manager at a tech company. I'm not rich, but I've got a decent salary, a small house I bought a few years ago, and enough savings to feel okay about life. My younger brother, Matt, 31, has always been the golden child in our family. Growing up, he was the charming one, the funny one, the one who could talk his way out of anything. I was the quiet, responsible one who got good grades and never caused trouble. Matt's not a bad guy, but he's always been a bit reckless. Like, he'd make big plans, chase big dreams, but never really think about the fallout. About 6 months ago, Matt lost his job. He was working as a sales rep for this startup that went under. Classic tech bubble stuff. He'd been living the high life, renting a fancy apartment in the city with his wife, Sarah, 29, and their 2 kids, Emma, 5, and Liam, 2. They had a nice car, took vacations, posted it all on Instagram like they were living the dream. But when the startup tanked, so did their whole setup. No savings, no backup plan. Matt called me one night, sounding panicked, saying they were behind on rent and might get evicted. Sarah was freaking out, the kids were stressed, and he didn't know what to do. I don't have a huge house, 3 bedrooms, 1.5 baths, nothing fancy. But I couldn't just let them crash and burn. I told them to move in with me. Temporarily, I thought, just until they got back on their feet. My place is in the suburbs, about an hour from the city, so it was a big change for them, but they didn't have a lot of options. They packed up what they could fit in a U-Haul, sold the rest, and showed up at my doorstep with 2 kids, a dog, and a mountain of stress. The first few weeks were rough but manageable. I gave them my master bedroom because it was the biggest, and I moved into the smaller spare room. I turned my home office into a makeshift bedroom for Emma, and Liam's crib went in the corner of the master. The dog, a hyperactive golden retriever named Max, chewed up one of my couch cushions within 48 hours. I didn't say anything, just ordered a new one on Amazon and kept my mouth shut. Sarah was apologetic. Matt promised to make it up to me, and I figured we'd find a rhythm. But then the bills started piling up. Their car payment was overdue. Their phones got cut off, and they had credit card debt I didn't even know about. Matt kept saying he was working on something, but every job lead he chased fell through. Sarah was a stay-at-home mom, so no income there. I started covering everything: groceries, utilities, their car payment, even diapers for Liam. I didn't want to make them feel worse than they already did, so I just paid. My savings took a hit, but I told myself it was temporary. Family helps family, right? Living together was its own kind of chaos. My house isn't big enough for 5 people and a dog. Toys were everywhere. Dishes piled up in the sink because Sarah was too tired to clean, and Matt would forget to take out the trash. I'd come home from work to find Max had peed on my rug, or Emma had drawn on the walls with crayon. I tried to be patient. I'd remind myself they were going through a lot, that the kids didn't know any better, that Matt and Sarah were embarrassed and stressed. But it was hard. I started feeling like a guest in my own home. I don't want to paint Matt and Sarah as freeloaders, because they weren't trying to take advantage. Sarah would cook dinner sometimes, and it was nice. Lasagna one night, tacos another. Matt would mow the lawn or fix a leaky faucet when I asked. But there was this unspoken tension, you know? Like, they knew they were a burden, but they didn't know how to fix it. And I didn't know how to bring it up without sounding like an asshole. I'd lie awake at night, staring at my bank account on my phone, wondering how long I could keep this up. The kids, though, Emma and Liam, they were the best and worst part. Emma's this bright, curious kid who'd follow me around, asking a million questions about everything. Why do you have so many books? Why don't you have a wife? Can I have a snack? She'd climb onto my lap while I was trying to work from home, and I'd end up reading her a story instead of finishing a report. Liam was a handful, always crying or throwing food, but he'd smile at me sometimes and it'd melt my heart. I started to love having them around, even if it meant stepping on Legos every other day. Fast forward to last week. Matt finally landed a job, not a great one, but a steady gig at a car dealership. It's commission-based, so it'll take a while for the money to roll in, but it was something. Sarah started talking about looking for part-time work once Liam was a bit older. Things were looking up, or so I thought. I figured we'd celebrate, you know? A little light at the end of the tunnel. So I suggested a family dinner at home. Nothing fancy, just a chance to sit down together and feel normal for once. I went all out. I grilled steaks, made mashed potatoes, roasted some veggies. Sarah baked a dessert, this chocolate cake she'd seen on Pinterest. Emma helped set the table, which meant forks were in the wrong spots, but it was cute. We sat down, the five of us, with Max begging under the table. It felt good, like we'd made it through something tough together. Then Matt stood up, glass of wine in hand, and said he wanted to make a toast. I figured he'd say something about new beginnings, maybe thank me for helping them out. I wasn't expecting much, but I thought it'd be heartfelt. Instead, he raised his glass and said, "To family, to new chapters, and to proving everyone wrong. We've been through hell, but Sarah and I built this life from nothing, and we're going to keep building it. Cheers to us." I just sat there, stunned. Emma clapped because she's 5 and loves clapping. Sarah smiled and clinked her glass with his. I forced a smile, but inside, I was boiling. Built this life from nothing? Proving everyone wrong. What the hell was that supposed to mean? I'd been paying for their entire existence for months. Food, rent, bills, everything. I gave up my bedroom, my privacy, my savings, and not one word about it. Not a single thank you in his damn toast. After dinner, I cleaned up alone. Sarah put the kids to bed, and Matt was on his phone, probably scrolling through car listings for his new job. I wanted to say something, but I didn't. I just scrubbed the dishes harder than necessary and went to bed. The next morning, I overheard Matt telling Sarah they should start looking for apartments soon. No mention of how they'd afford it, no conversation with me about what was next. Just moving on, like I was a pit stop. I don't know what to do with this feeling. I'm angry, but I also feel guilty for being angry. Matt's my brother. He was in a bad spot, and I helped because that's what you do. But that toast, it's like he erased everything I did, like he's the hero of his own story and I'm just background noise. Sarah's been nice enough, but she didn't say anything either. I keep wondering if I'm overreacting. Maybe he didn't mean it like that. Maybe I'm just tired and stressed and reading too much into it. I haven't talked to Matt about it yet. I don't even know how to start that conversation without it turning into a fight. Part of me wants to lay it all out, tell him how much I've sacrificed, how much it hurt to be left out of his little victory speech. But another part of me feels like I'd be the bad guy for making it about me. I don't know. I just know I'm tired of feeling invisible in my own house. Anyway, that's my story. I don't know if I'm looking for advice or just needed to vent. If you've been through something like this, how did you handle it? How do you talk to someone you love without blowing everything up? I just want to feel like I matter again.